I immediately think of, what happened with the development of the U-2 spy plane.
Absolutely.
And, after World War II, a lot of people talking about these crazy objects that are doing this and that, and, things happening at Area 51.
Oh,
and
yes.
So clandestine, and, they have alien technology. Well, it may just be stealth technology, or it may just be, emerging technology that we have not seen.
Yes. The United States government has actively used the UFO subject as a cover for clandestine projects, top secret testing of various vehicles. As you mentioned, the U-2 spy plane. In the 1960s, commercial pilots were reporting seeing these silvery objects glinting in the sun. They were moving faster than higher than anything we had that they knew of at the time.
Right.
In fact, many of those were, in fact, test flights of the U-2 before it had the black carbon composite on the body of the plane. And so there are, and again, UFOs is a great cover. And Area 51 you mentioned, I personally don't think that there's any evidence to suggest there's anything UFO related there.
Right.
And people have often asked me from the UFO community, have you been out to Area 51? Have you gone out there? And I said, no. And they said, you haven't? I said, no. If you go out to a military test site where they're test flying exotic aircraft, you're going to see things you can't identify.
Right.
But by virtue of where you're sitting, it's probably military assets that you're looking at.
Right.
What I'm much more intrigued are the police officers that I've interviewed in Southern Illinois or Missouri Highway Patrol officers that are seeing something out in the middle of a cornfield that has no business being there, that is nowhere near a military base or a testing area.
Right.
Those are the ones that are highly perplexing. And, it also gets down, we talk about the credibility of the information regarding UFOs, but I always like to touch on an important fact. I've interviewed a lot of law enforcement officers over the years, both men and women, and I'm here to tell you their testimony in a court of law would stand up in most cases. But suddenly, because they report a UFO, people say they're not credible. No. Credibility isn't fleeting. It doesn't shift with the wind. You're either a credible observer, regardless of what you're reporting, or you're not.
Right.
And the fact that some of these law enforcement officers are reporting strange objects being seen, in some cases, multiple police officers observing from multiple angles a similar object, we have to take that testimony at face value. Because, again, these people can convict someone in a court of law of murder.
Right.
And so, we can't be casual with ascribing someone as being credible or not credible just based on what they experienced. And most of these officers, if I might add, they never say, I've seen an extraterrestrial spacecraft. They say, look, I was career military before getting in law enforcement. I've seen aircraft, I've seen jets, I've seen air refuelers. I don't know what the hell I just saw.
Right.